Some of my earliest experiences with writing creatively happened online, on message boards. As a homeschooled teenager growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, I had the internet for a campus. On my message boards of choice, I gossiped about the week's intra-forum drama with other members, debated scripture with middle-aged theologians, befriended queer atheists, shared poetry and photography and bottomless pages of writing with people I knew only by their screen names. To me, their preferred font also served as their voice. A pink Comic Sans sounded a lot different than a dark green Times New Roman. Writing was world-building and identity-shaping. I crafted a parallel life on the other side of a static-charged monitor sitting in my parents' living room, and later, on a 6-pound, white-trimmed Dell laptop. The undercurrent of all these conversations about religion or poetry or politics was romance. All my constant digital scribing turned into my first meaningful relationships, my first loves and heartaches. My friends and I had never met, but we would whisper together in private messages about who had crushes on whom. My eyes would dart to the now online sidebar, a sea of usernames, scanning for theirs. We had proms and parties and asked each other to dance. Someone gave me a pixelated flower bouquet. Now, in my 30s, I spend hours each day glued to Twitter and Meta's Instagram, two monopolies that devoured and then raised the GeoCities websites and bulletin boards I once considered my digital homes. Today's social media feeds are a mix of the worst people's unsolicited opinions about World War III, other people dunking on those people, and commands that I don't scroll past, crowdfunding requests for someone's sick cat. These are buttressed with a grab bag of news headlines involving personal, national, and global horrors against the most marginalized of society. Photos of a celebrity chinchilla and 10-second video clips of bouncing asses and boobs on beaches and beds. All of this is received in a kind of blur, algorithmically selected in the order I'm most likely to engage with it. We're users now, not members. And the products we're using are one another, our fellow content creators. We pass around these little pixelated bouquets for the benefit of the companies running the platforms. When you peer under the surface of all this consumerism and chaos and back into the history of the internet, it becomes clear that the internet was built on sex, and sex has remained its through line no matter how hard some people try to deny it. A demand for sex built the shopping cart, the browser cookie, ad revenue models, payment processors, and the dynamic web page. The desire to explore and share our sexuality constructed the internet piece by piece as we know it today. And then technocratic billionaires betrayed the sexual for the sanitized and safe. We started labeling things safe for work and not safe for work. A binary that's telling of who we allowed to call the shots. Sexuality is either unsafe or safe under a pretense of labor, depending on whether a boss is cool with it. Capitalists built walls around the safe parts of the internet to appease investors, advertisers, banks, and zealots, and pushed everyone who didn't comply to the margins. But there's a catch. There is no adult side of the internet. The internet isn't a wall with sexy stuff on one face and family-friendly on the other. It's a web. And the ways we knit that web together, from the very beginning in late 1970s chat systems to today, is a choice. They include how we defend or concede our dwindling rights to sexual expression online, how control of that web looks, how we choose who gets to decide and participate, and how those decisions shape our lives away from the keyboard and at what cost.